Thanks. How you doing? Beautiful guitar. Thank you. Yeah, this is my Kiesel Theos. Not Kiesel Theos, my trusty Kiesel Delos. Love this guitar. Doesn't that flame just look absolutely beautiful on it? Absolutely incredible guitar. Love it. There's brand new strings on this guitar too, so maybe it's going to be going out of tune a little bit. I got the Theos ready in case this thing is going out of tune, so no worries about that. Actually, I forgot to turn on my other speaker. Hold on one second. I realize the volume's a bit low, so let me get that other speaker on. See if the sound is better this way. Let me know. Let me know. Does this sound better? There we go. Sounds better? Yes? Cool. What unit are you using for effects? I'm using a plugin from Polychrome DSP, and it's called the McRocklin Suite. Highly suggested if you want easy to create tones. I mean, literally, this is a preset from the plugin. What is the most important of musical theory to study in your opinion? I think you should start off with understanding chords probably first. So maybe just learn the modes of the major scale with chords like this. Then maybe start getting into scales like this. 3 notes per string, probably. Then after that, you could start working on arpeggios. I recommend maybe on 2 strings at first. Then maybe add 3 strings. Then maybe work on 5 strings. Then you can work up to 6 strings. That one, I don't usually use 6 strings, and then back to 6 strings with the shape. Also, I forgot to add, if you're not good with your pentatonic shapes, you should probably get good at that as well, because that is also equally as important in my opinion, like this kind of stuff. What up, brother? How you doing? How you doing? Thanks for joining the live. Then learn position 2, which is G major. Position 3. Position... No, that would be... technically, I start in G, so that would be position 2. This would be position 3. Then D. Then back to E. And that comment disappeared, so let me see if I can see that again. There we go. Good to see you again. By the way, may I ask how tall you are? This guitar somehow looks quite big on you. Yeah, I'm about 6 foot tall, 6 foot and maybe in between 6 and 6'1". Yeah. All right. Hey man, I've been following you for years. Have you heard any of my music? I was never taught a thing. Learned on my own. Just curious if you heard me. I have not, but I'd be willing to check some of your stuff out after the stream. Just, you know, tell me how to find you. Cool. Thanks for explaining. How is your training schedule nowadays in number of hours? Today, I haven't had the time to play guitar much, so today is I'm just practicing now on the live stream because why not? Why not? I was gonna play guitar anyway, so I thought I was gonna do a live stream, and I was supposed to do one last night, but I was not able to do one on YouTube. I ended up doing one on Instagram, so I didn't think many people would join at like 1 a.m. So I did one pretty late on Instagram. So I just figured I'll just do the YouTube one tomorrow, which is today. What mode do you use the most over A minor? I mean, if you want to get to the basics, you could just go A minor pentatonic. But that's probably not the answer you're looking for. So you could also use A Aeolian. That will work well if you're just playing over just a 1 chord backing track. But with that being said, usually the stuff we play over has more chords, so depends on the context, to be honest. So say we had a chord progression starting in C major. There's a lot of choices you have, to be honest. But I like the sound of Lydian a lot, and F Lydian always sounds cool. I kind of gravitate towards that sound if the chords fit. You know what I mean? Chatting and practicing, basically what I do. Yeah, exactly. I'm just sitting here practicing and thought, why not do a live? I was supposed to do it yesterday, and I'm sure people want to see me practice. They always ask questions, so why not just do a live stream practice session? Why not? I kind of do that a lot anyway. So, more playing. What time is it where you guys are at? Is this a good time to go live? Because this is a little earlier than I usually do. To play with such a light touch and have still the oh my gosh, the comments disappear kind of fast when you're doing it in landscape mode. But hold on. To play with such a light touch and have still it's disappearing again. To play with such a light touch and have still that dynamics, do you use a compressor? A little bit sometimes, but not always. 9:34 p.m., 9:30 for me. Oh wow, you guys are just an hour ahead then. It's like 8:30 about. Yeah, about 8:35 almost. Do you do Skype lessons? Yes, I do Skype lessons. Back to teaching on Monday. 10:30 in the morning? Oh wow, where are you from? That must be really early. I mean, that is early compared to where I'm at. How much for a lesson? You can contact me about rates privately if you want, but I usually am not doing one-off lessons. Usually they're booked 4 lessons at a time just because it's just easier for me to do it that way. That way I don't have to schedule multiple lessons. It just saves me time personally, and you get more out of it if you book 4 lessons at a time. So I'm looking for students who are willing to book a month at a time because I don't like having to always go so back and forth. I just like it scheduled next week, and I can see your progress that way a lot easier, and it just makes it much easier that way. So if you're interested, just contact me, and we could probably get something going if you're interested. And another thing to add to that, I usually only accept students who are really serious about the instrument. If you don't like practice too much and stuff, you probably wouldn't be a good candidate to be one of my students, because I'm looking for students who want to use the techniques that I use and, you know, really implement them and really try. So that's another thing I'd like to add as well, is you gotta be, you know, giving some effort into this. Because that would just waste both of our times if you don't practice. You know what I mean? Because my goal is I genuinely want my students to improve, and that's what they do exactly. Because when you use my methods, it's pretty hard not to improve, because I use a lot of techniques that really add the smoothness to your playing and the things that you kind of want to learn to be able to freely improvise, if that makes sense. And all the scale stuff and all that good stuff and music theory, that's the kind of stuff I teach. Music theory, improv, all that stuff. Technique, you name it. Songwriting. As one who has gotten lessons from you, oh wow, do I remember you? As one who has gotten lessons from you, I think it was great and opened a lot of doors. Hey, listen to this guy. See, he's taking lessons from me and it opened doors for him. Hey, when did you take lessons from me? Was it a long time ago? It's the Finn. It's the Finn. Is that your name? Andrew. Okay, Andrew. Well, it's good to see you again. Good to see you again. Because it must have been a while. Either way, it's good to see you, and I'm glad you joined the live, man. Good to have you here. What interface do you use? Right now, I'm rocking with the Apollo Twin X, but I must admit, I'm thinking about getting rid of it. Not because it's bad. But because I don't use the plugins enough, and I probably would benefit more from an Axe Effects, I'll be honest. So I'm thinking about selling it, getting an Axe Effects. So it's a great interface. It's a professional interface, and it just, I feel like it's too much for what I need it for, and I think I could think of better things to use. It's great though, but you don't need a universal audio stuff, but it is great, I must admit. And if I got rid of it, eventually I'd probably just get a better one with more inputs and stuff so I could record live drums. Okay. With the white 8-string Harley Benton. Oh, I remember you. You had all those cool buckethead licks you were trying to learn. I remember you. Very cool, man. Yeah, how are you doing? It's been a while. Did you enjoy those tabs, by the way? How do those tabs serve you? You like them? Can you do whammy bar tricks? I need to add a whammy bar. Actually, I don't even know where my Goto trem is. It's probably in the case. I usually don't use the trem on this guitar just for no reason, really. I just never get around to putting it on. I wanted to get going on this live stream as fast as possible. So, would you recommend a Focusrite Scarlett? I mean, I would recommend it. I think that's great for the price range, and to be honest, like a lot of my friends use them, and they put out very professional sounding records. So I wouldn't say don't get one. I mean, if that's in your budget, then get it, because it's a great interface, and as long as you have some good plugins and stuff, I think it's a good interface, to be honest. It's really cool. But I think also there might be other interfaces in that price range you could consider that have, according to the reviews, better preamps maybe in a similar price range. So you could get that. I think it's great. But there's also other stuff out there too, so don't count that stuff out just yet. Trying to get my head around them tabs at the moment. I've been only playing Rush E. Okay. That was not clean. Usually what parameters you go for your tone, like the gain, treble, bass, mid, etc. Okay, so what I think is a good sort of baseline is to keep everything sort of in the center, so like halfway everywhere, and then adjust accordingly to your ear. So sometimes I'm feeling a little bit more treble if you want to play that sort of like 80s kind of like A-string riffs, open A-string riffs, like. But sometimes for more of a good lead sound, one thing I'll do is, crank up the gain a little bit and sort of go for that more liquid-like, that sort of smooth. Get more of a smoother sound. So use overdrive as well. Overdrive over distortion all day for me. That's what I prefer. Why horizontal live now? Why horizontal live now? Earlier it was vertical, right? Not this live stream. The last live stream was vertical. Why horizontal? Just felt like it, honestly. Some people like it like that. Some people like it the other way. And I guess just to have some variety, why not? Why is vertical better? Who prefers vertical? Someone said this is better. See, everyone else is saying this is better. They don't like the vertical, but then some people like the vertical. Thanks for the answers. Really helpful stuff. Hey, thank you for commenting and joining the live, man. Really appreciate having you here. Ben, looking for a new Strat. What model is that? Sounds killer. Sounds killer. All right. You're right. It does sound killer. And this is a Kiesel Theo. Oh my gosh, I keep saying that. Kiesel Delos. Yeah, this is my my favorite guitar I own. Best sounding one too. I'm also a Kiesel Guitars artist, so I'm honored to be working with these guys. Honored just to be a part of the team. So try one of these out. You won't regret it, I'm sure. Let's get to more questions. What are your favorite Lydian lines? You know, I don't have a favorite Lydian lines. Lydian line, I just really like to target, so if we're in the key of C major, fourth mode of G major. I like to target certain notes, and that's usually the C, D, E. Those are the notes I typically will target, depending on the backing track and or the song, whatever. I'm just gonna be trying to target that this sort of tonality. And also, you can use some dominant 7 stuff that will sound pretty good usually. Also, Lydian, or down to 7th arpeggios sound really good when you're in Lydian modes as well. So you could do D Lydian or D7 arpeggio. Try that. Very cool stuff right there. Any tips for hand synchronization? Yeah, I got some tips for you. So what I would recommend to do is use the half speed, full speed method. And what I mean by that is take any groupings of notes. So usually you're going to want to go with like maybe a 6-note grouping, and then just do this. And then try it a little faster, maybe like double speed. Then do that all across the neck, assuming you know your modes of the major scale. Hopefully that answers your question, but that is a great method. You want to do that with any shape, any pattern. You could do that even across 6 strings. You go. I'll try it. Thanks, man. Really helpful. Hey, no problem. No problem. And to anyone watching, I have a lesson pack linked in the description. So if you want to check out any of the stuff that I do that has tabs and lessons and slow down videos, all that stuff, be sure to check out the lesson pack linked in the description. Would appreciate it if you checked it out. If not, all good, but it's linked in the description in case you do want to check it out. So this is what a typical practice session would look like for me. If I haven't played all day or something like that, this is the kind of stuff I'll be going through. String skipping, sweep picking, all this stuff, just to get my hands warmed up, because I'm not even warmed up even just yet. Hey, thanks, Straten. Great stuff here, man. Hey, shout out to you. Thank you for joining the live. And if you have any questions, just be sure to let me know. But yeah, I just work on stuff. I'm going to work on some string skipping stuff right now. This is actually a really cool string skipping lick. Show it to you right now. Very difficult to play as well. Hi, I get tension when inside picking. Any tip? I will answer that in a minute. Let me play this first. Very cool stuff right there. So you get tension when you do inside picking. Okay, that is the question. I think tension is a result in a lot of ways of you not being comfortable with something. That's just my personal opinion. Because if I wasn't comfortable with inside picking, let's just take like a lick like this. We're going to inside pick this. See, there might be a little bit of tension there, but with that being said, I think it can be worked on. And to work on it is just to get the right pick slanting. So there's a little bit of pick slanting that happens either downward or upward. When I descend, well, that would be upward if I was descending. Check this out. There's certain wrist rotations that need to happen when you do this. So I would say clear that up, try to get those rotations right, and clear all the inconsistencies, get rid of all that, and then try to focus on the things that you can play consistently with inside picking, and then expand on that. So that's what I would do. And obviously, you're just going to have to play everything with outside picking just to get used to it. So, yeah, that'd be my advice. I never was a big inside picker, but I've gotten pretty good at it over the years due to my economy picking. But I get rid of a lot of this stuff through my hybrid picking technique. Whoops. Through hybrid picking, I get rid of a lot of things, and it actually makes it a lot easier. So, like, here's an example. That would remove a lot of upstrokes, and if you were to inside pick that, it would actually you'd actually make it where you don't even have to. And obviously, depends on what you're playing. You might not even need to use inside picking. So it just depends on what you're playing, to be honest. And then sometimes you can avoid inside picking by just using pull-offs. Here's an example of that right here. But if I picked every note, then there's no choice then to do inside picking when I descend. So check this out. This is a little bit tougher of a technique for me, picking every note, that is. See how my wrist is rotating sort of towards me in that direction when I descend? That is something that you kind of actively got to work on as well if you want to get good at anything, but specifically inside picking, because there's a lot of things that, screw you up along the way. How do I set my noise gate for low extra noise but more sustained? You probably should just turn it off, because that's what I do. I turn it off because it ruins your sustain, it ruins your tone. And if you're annoyed with the noise, just play over it or turn that volume down when you're not playing. I typically turn it off. But right now I probably have it on because I'm on a live stream and everyone gets annoyed with my annoying feedback when I don't. So I don't like noise gates very much. And I'm still getting warmed up, man. I am not feeling to my full potential right now. I've only played 30 minutes today. I also have trouble with string noise when sweeping, playing fast, etc. Any recommendations for that? You just got to practice. You got to practice, because if you don't... Also, palm muting. That's what's going to happen. You got to use your palm to mute those strings to get that. Definitely will help get rid of some noise. And then for sweep picking, you can apply the same technique. That's what I did at first. For 3-string sweeps, I would go palm mute for everything. That will help over time, and then you might not even have to palm mute it once your technique gets there, if that makes sense. I'll even show you an example of 3-string arpeggios. See, when I did that descending economy picking lick, look at how my wrist is rotating. That's how you get that really fast descending economy picking going. The GOAT is live, LOL. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, just let me know. And to anyone who is new here, I have a lesson pack linked in the description. It's a course that I released maybe a few years ago that has a lot of cool licks, tabs, and all the stuff that I really liked that I wanted to put into a lesson pack. So check it out if you want to. And with that being said, there's a lot of cool stuff that I use from that. You don't got to check it out if you don't want to, but just letting you know that's available if you do want to. The playing is very clean. Thank you, thank you. Did you go to music school? I did not. I went to the School of Hard Knocks. Howdy, I found a string muter along with palm muting really cleans up my tone. Have to slide it behind the nut for open stuff though. Oh, there you go. Yeah, a string muter, that'll help, that'll help. I don't got one of those on my guitar at the moment, but you know, that'll help for sure. That'll help for sure. What's your signature key that you play in? I play in every key, bro, but my go-to is E minor. I just love, and I also love teaching in not A minor, but E minor. Specifically, actually, in G major is how I teach everything because it all correlates with open strings. So if you have a G, you have an A, B minor, C major, D major, or D7, I guess. And then E minor, then F sharp, back to G. I I just love those keys so much. It's just there's so much you can work with there, but then you can translate that to any, you know, any key. So if I wanted to play that in A major, you could do all the same stuff. Then the minor key would be F sharp minor. Wait. Yep, G major and minor scale harmonize. Yep, in E minor, that's right. How would you go about making sure a neck is straight when adjusting a truss rod? I need to adjust the truss rod on my 2006 Epiphone Les Paul Custom, but don't really know how to get it right. I am not the guy for that because I don't know how to do all that stuff. I don't do all that. I get my stuff set up by a professional. So I am not the right guy for that. Are you playing diminished licks? I could be. He said E minor, yeah. G major, E minor, it's the relative minor. If you don't know how to do it, get a luthier. Otherwise, you can snap it. Yeah, probably that guy knows more than me. I still don't know the answer to the question because I don't know. That's fair. I want to learn how to do it because I'm broke, lol. Hey, there you go. You got to learn one way or another, right? So probably through trial and error, but just don't screw up your guitar. Your muscle memory is on another level. Cheers. Thank you. Wow. Could you play some legato stuff? Sure. How do you keep your Strat in tune when you record without distortion? I get my guitars professionally set up. I'm not good at that stuff. I'm only good on the playing side of things. Not setting it up, not changing strings, not any of that. I'm not good at that. But legato stuff, let's try something. That wasn't that much legato stuff. We'll do something else. How about... I do a lot of this stuff too, where I just pick one note per string on descending stuff for legato, like. I do that a lot when I'm combining 3 and 4 notes per string stuff. It always sounds cool when you're doing a combo of both. Gypsy jazz, not really. I don't. But I learned these kind of licks sometimes from gypsy jazz guitars like that. A lot of that melodic minor stuff, sort of the augmented. Show us some George Lynch stuff. I really don't know how he plays, to be honest. I've never listened to much Dokken. Got any recommendations for me, though? See, I'm doing a lot of hyper picking when I do ascending alternate stuff. Hey man, it's such an inspiration. Hey, shout out to you. Thanks for joining live. Appreciate having you. Appreciate having everyone on this live. Work. Okay. Let me refresh the comments. You play so clean. Great stuff, Straten. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to you. Work at a guitar store and all I want to do is learn to shred. I've never been much of a fast player. What's the best tip you could give to get faster but still be clean? I always say the same thing. I don't know what level you're at, but with that being said, how much theory do you know? Do you know your scales? Do you know the modes of the G major at least? Do you know how to play every scale in every position? Like, so I think what you probably should do is hit the practice room and get used to probably playing scales, at least 3 notes per string, and then once you get good at that, probably work on your legato technique, maybe start adding some arpeggios, maybe add some different rhythmic stuff like I was showing everyone earlier, where you do the half speed, full speed method. You play a pattern, 6-note pattern, and do it half speed then full speed, like sort of like this. Really good for your timing and overall articulation and picking technique. And probably that would be a good start for you. Get good at the modes, get some theory knowledge, all that stuff. That's really cool. Sounds cool because it has that sort of dominant 7th sound. Did I miss something? Most of that stuff I learned at university is just picking fast for me. I appreciate the advice. I probably only have 10 hours per week to practice is my issue. That's actually not a big issue because that's more than most people, to be honest. If you want to get good at it, 10 hours a week is probably good. Just set a goal and then increase the BPM, every week. See if you can, maybe even every day, depending. I mean, the way I practice, I try to get results as fast as possible, and I do preach that. I don't preach that patience over time and get good. I just preach efficiently practice everything and get as good as fast as possible, because that's what I did. When I first started playing guitar, my goal was to play Eruption within a total of 6 months of playing guitar. While it wasn't very clean, keep in mind, I was able to play it within 6 months of playing guitar. Now, with that being said, Sean Lane once said this. He practiced things very fast. He never practiced slow. And I am under the same sort of approach, or I have the same approach. Practice fast, don't practice slow, because the technique isn't the same slow. If you want to practice sweep picking fast, it's not the same it's not the same technique as if you were to go slow. Like, look at this. There's no way you can practice that with the same technique as if you were to go. It's not the same technique. So I preach practice things fast, or at a fast enough speed where it mimics the same technique as if you were to play fast. Same with legato, all that stuff. Dang. Ooh, there's my interface almost falling. There we go, it did not fall. Who are your favorite guitar players? I like Randy Rhoads. Dokken, Dream Warriors, Alone Again, Lynch Mob, Wicked Sensation, George Lynch stuff. I'll check them out, man. Thank you for the recommendations, my friend. Appreciate you. What else is there I can look over? More guitar players. I love Jimi Hendrix, too. Just Jimi Hendrix is great. Whoops. Appreciate that, man. I definitely need a practice schedule. I'm kind of aimless right now. I'd love to be half as good of a lead player as you. How long have you been playing, man? Well, thanks for the compliment. I appreciate that. I started playing in August of 2008, so that'll be about 16 years this year. Total of 16 years. It's crazy. How long have you been playing? And to everyone watching this, if you enjoy the video, would appreciate if you hit like on the video, well, the live stream, if you enjoyed the video. It helps the algorithm and all that, and you know how that works. Would appreciate it. If not, all good, but appreciate your support anyway. It's funny, I still don't feel warmed up. It's been 54 minutes of live streaming. I picked up the guitar for the first time, and I still actually don't feel that greatly warmed up. Gotta put in more practice right now just to feel like my playing is clean enough. So watch, this is how I do it to quickly really warm up. That was a really cool chord progression. So that goes from E major to C major. That's cool. Now a chord progression that is very commonly used because E major and C major are totally different key centers as far as that. C major does not work in E major as far as diatonic chords and scales go. But with that being said, it makes for a nice chord change, which is really cool. Sounds very sort of just really cool. I like that a lot. It gives you that sort of... See how that works? Sounds really cool. Love that. Sup, Straten? Are you into Brandon? I don't know how to say the last name. Niederauer. I've actually never heard of his work. Should I be checking anything out specifically? Oh, that's cool. I've been playing 12 years, but I used to be a lot better 4 or 5 years back. I just barely have as much time to practice some weeks between work and the gym and general life nowadays. Can you show us some gent riffage? I don't do that. There's probably someone else who could better demonstrate the gent. There's someone else who could probably better demonstrate the gent riffage than I could, because that's just not my style. How are you not signed yet, bro? I'm signed to Kiesel Guitars. But I appreciate you. Touring with Steve Vai. Man, I need to be doing stuff like that. You're right. That's the goal. I'm working on a lot of original music right now. So that's the goal, to be touring and doing that kind of stuff soon. But I need some original music out. So until that's available, I won't be touring or doing live stuff. But with that being said, we're working on it and we're getting close to it. Like a lot closer to the finished product. Goldfinger theme starts with E to C, a James Bond movie. Oh, that's interesting. I'm trying to play the James Bond chord. Oh, we got Eugene in the house tonight. Hey, thank you for joining the stream, Eugene. 26 watching and 37 likes on the stream already. Great ratio. Yeah, that is a good ratio. I was noticing that myself. I was like, hey, it's unusual. Maybe because it's landscape and people are liking it because it's landscape. I'm not sure why that is, but thanks for enjoying, or thanks for joining the live, dude. Glad to have you. Glad to have you as always. How old are you, dude? Just out of interest, if you don't mind me asking. Take a guess. I'm gonna guess 24. Keep going, keep going. Close though. Do you have a simple practice lick to learn legato that I could repeat for the next hour while watching some series? You know, that is a stand-up kind of question. I really like that question. That's a man on a mission right there. You got a series to watch? Why not practice some legato? You know what? I think I could curate a practice routine for you real quick. All right. No answers that is correct yet. I will say 23. Close. 24, 25. Close. You guys are being nice. 29. That is, you're a little off on 29. That's a little older than I am, but you're close. Close. No one guessed it correctly yet, but 20s is, I'm in my 20s. It's below 29, above 24, 25, 23. Very close, my friends. Very close. I will take that as a compliment. Someone said 28, and that is correct. If I look under 28, that's cool. I'll take it. Do you like Dream Theater? Yes, I do like Dream Theater. I was just on a Zoom call with the keyboard player from Dream Theater. Speaking of Dream Theater, we were chatting about technique and cool stuff. Jordan Root is from Dream Theater. We're friends. What is correct? I had the same reaction. Well, we've talked before, but yeah, that was the same reaction I had when I first talked to him, and every time I talk to him, he's a nice guy. I'm gonna be going to one of, I just dropped my pick and I can't find it, so I might be having to search for a guitar pick. Oh, here we go. Found it. Wow, I was thinking, I was right about you being a little older than me. I guess I'm 27. Yeah, a little older, 28. Actually, I'm gonna be turning 29 pretty soon. With Rudis, nice. Yes, with Rudis. Great dude. How did you and Jordan become friends? He just found me on Instagram, I think, and I obviously know who Jordan Rudess is ever since I listened to the album Scenes from a Memory from Dream Theater, and he just found me on Instagram and basically was like, dude, you shred? And I was like, dang, I'm honored because you're a legend, and what better compliment to receive than you shred from a legend? Well, he didn't say that, but you know what I mean. He's just being a cool dude and respecting my skills and stuff, and that's pretty much it. We've talked for quite a few hours at a time, and he's a good guy, very nice guy, very inspirational. What'd he show you on guitar? If I can ask you to show us, you can show us, I mean. Well, he was actually asking me about some hybrid picking stuff I was doing and how I was able to do these kind of hybrid picking things, like it was these arpeggios. Really wanted to learn them, so I was showing him some of that stuff that I do. Okay, I found the video of him I wanted you to check out. Yeah, let me know. I'm 27, running out of time to get good when I'm still young, seeing as I need years of practice. You are running out of time. You are correct. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you aren't running out of time, because truthfully, you probably do have a lot of time, but the right attitude is to think you're out of time, because if you think you have all the time in the world, you're going to be 35 soon, and you're not going to be where you want to be. So get to it as fast as possible. How many years have you been playing? 16 years this August of 2008. And that'll be exactly 16 years. Get him to hook you up with Petrucci so you can join one of his Guitar Universe things. You're totally at that level. Instruct at, I mean, you know, that would be awesome. I never even thought of that. I wouldn't want to ask somebody like that because that just feels like, you know what I mean. I'd rather be invited than asked, just because, you know what I mean. You know how that works. I'd love to do it. I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to ask. Hi, someone said. Hi to you. How you doing? Thanks for joining the live. But yeah, I wouldn't want to ask him that, you know. Everyone's busy and stuff, and he probably already has enough people for it, so yeah, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't ask, but that would be super cool to do that. Haha, yeah, it would feel disingenuous. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna ask. You know what I mean? But absolutely, it would be awesome. It would be honored to do it. But yeah, no, I'm not the kind of person who would ask somebody like that a question like that. I have a question. Do you think that a good quality guitar has a lot of impact of a guitarist playing? I mean, yeah. But with that being said, I could still shred on a cheap guitar, but the nice guitars that I play from Kiesel absolutely help my guitar playing. I mean, it makes me sound much better. No fret buzz. They look cool, and with that being said, yeah, they do help your tone a bit, and it just gives you a nice mindset when you're playing too. You know what I mean? It gives you the nice mindset. And I look at this flame maple every day, and I just go, we're about to shred. But with that being said, it does improve your tone and everything. Like, but I never had custom shop guitars until I got to the level I'm at now. To be honest, it wasn't 3 years. It was until about 3 years ago until I signed to Kiesel. So I was good without like custom shop instruments. But with that being said, it only helped my playing because I learned about fretboard radiuses, pickups, and all this cool stuff. So it definitely was like the icing on the cake for me to like really like. I actually feel like I gotten better when I started playing Kiesel too. I kind of feel like once I started playing them, I was like, my playing sounded smoother. I was like, you know what? This is just awesome stuff. So maybe it's a thing in my head, but maybe it's not. I don't know. All I know is all these specs are perfectly spec'd out the way I like them and how they should be, and that's how I like it now, and I really couldn't imagine going back to a non-custom shop instrument, to be honest. So I do think it does help for sure, and they look cool. Would be awesome to have lessons if you do have a course. Well, today's your lucky day. Well, not really, but with that being said, I do have a course linked in the description. It's like $20, and it's got some really cool stuff on there if you wanted to check it out. And there's tabs and slow lessons or slow videos of me playing and explaining some stuff. And yeah, if you want to check it out, it's only $20. If not, all good. But would appreciate it if you checked it out. But you don't have to by any means. I mean, no big deal. Oh, and we got another super chat from no one other than Eugene himself. I dig your playing more than Petrucci. He should join you. Oh my gosh, that is an honor, man. I'm humbled to hear a compliment like that. Although I won't admit it myself because I couldn't do that to Petrucci because I love him. I appreciate the compliment, man. Eugene with the $10 super chat, the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Eugene. You're always showing support, man. Always showing love. Shout out to you, man. Everyone give a thumbs up for Eugene in the chat, man. Everyone give a thumbs up for Eugene. He's always on these live streams, always giving super chats, man. He rules, seriously. Everyone knows Eugene at this point on this live. Will 100% grab that, May? Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support, man. And also shout out to Eugene, man. He's always rocking with us, man. He's always making these streams more alive. Now I gotta turn it up for Eugene. I get off on arpeggios. How can you not pay for this entertainment? Like others say, that guitar needs a cigarette for playing, not collecting. Nerdy question, what picks do you use? Or what picks do you prefer? Dunlop Altex 1.0. Sounding like Alcatraz Yngwie. You know, I am very inspired by Alcatraz Yngwie. Very cool stuff. We'll try something in that style. Man, if I was on a live stream like 5 years ago, I would have been a better impersonator of Alcatraz Yngwie. I don't got it the same way I used to. I just end up playing my own licks. But let's try that again. I had the neoclassical chord progression going though. I always try doing the Alcatraz Yngwie or any Yngwie impression, and then I end up just doing my own style. It's funny how that works. Do you like Kirk Hammett picks? You like Jeff Loomis? He picks, you sound like Malmsteen to me. I never tried Kirk Hammett picks, nor Jeff Loomis picks, but shout out to Kirk Hammett and Jeff Loomis. I like the guitar players. Sounds awesome. It's more about the aggressive spirit of Yngwie. I kind of agree, yeah. And Lynch and cool stuff. Yeah, Lynch is great. I don't know much about him, though. People are giving me recommendations to check out, so I got to rewatch this live stream to find those comments, because I already forgot what the recommendation was for the Dawkins stuff. Do you have a looper hooked up today? I don't. I didn't manage to get it because I have to buy it, but I also found one I might be able to get as well because I might be buying it off of somebody. So I didn't get a hold of that yet. Unfortunately, we'll be doing that soon though. And if not, I'll just have the backing tracks on my computer ready. YGM, but yeah, original. I never say he's playing a lick from that song. Rather seems like practice or pure improv. Oh, for sure. Yngwie is more of an improviser than anything. He doesn't sit here and just go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's definitely more of a live feel and kind of an improv sort of approach for sure. And I'm trying to learn Lynch's Wicked Sensation at the moment. I'll remember that. I gotta remember that to check that out. I wanna see that. I just always, when I think of George Lynch, I sort of think of somebody who sounds just like Eddie Van Halen. I don't know why. I just think of that. So I could be proved wrong for sure. I don't know much about him, but I just think of him as like a Eddie Van Halen sort of style player. If that makes sense. Doing a lot of these kind of... He does a lot of those, don't he? Sorry, this thing's going out of tune because they're brand new strings. Yes, I like Lynch's riffs. A lot of flat fives. Oh, there we go, there we go. Got that sort of Randy Rhoads kind of thing going on. That's a cool thing to do when you're in the key of like a A harmonic minor, E Phrygian. You can do this cool descending harmonic minor thing where you go. Are those arpeggio runs licks from songs? I don't even know what to look for on... Okay, let me repeat this. Are these arpeggio runs or licks from songs? I don't even know what to look for or how to approach attempting to learn stuff like this. Well, today's your lucky day because you're watching me. And on my channel, there's a lot of stuff like this that you can learn that are slowed down with tabs. So just watch my channel, and I'm sure there's something you can find. Or you could just learn a song that involves a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I'm just sitting here practicing, improvising right now. I'm not even... There's nothing too serious going on right now. Just practicing, chilling. I didn't play any guitar today, so I thought, why not hop on a live stream? I was supposed to do one yesterday, and I wasn't able to. So with that being said, I'm just sitting here because I have some time right now to play and practice. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And what better way to play and practice than in front of people on a live stream? So yeah, check out my channel. I'm sure there's something you could find that you could practice. All the guys in the live stream probably will tell you the same thing. Do you like Rusty Cooley? Rusty Cooley. You know, that's like the first video on my channel. First two videos on my channel are Rusty Cooley. I saw him a long time ago. And I was one of the people in the crowd who said, hey bro, can you do some nubbing? Which is like a technique where a buckethead would go like, let's see if I can even do it. I don't do that technique too much, so I'm not that clean at it. But either way, I asked Rusty Cooley to do it because I was a big Buckethead fan at the time. Still like Buckethead a lot too. And I told him to do it, and he did it for me on the spot. And he actually did the 4 or actually 8 finger tapping at the time. It's quite funny. It's still on my YouTube channel to this day. Very funny. Very funny that I was the one asking him that. And yeah, they're the first 2 videos probably ever uploaded that are still available. I think I had some videos before then too, but I don't know if I left them up to watch. I think I was doing some other stuff on here, just like playing, but they're not available to watch anymore, and I don't know if I could even still find them. I'd have to look. Can you play any Jason Becker, preferably altitudes? I know how to play Serena, and I actually have a video of somebody recording me playing that on the spot, and I was thinking about uploading it. I thought it'd be cool. Maybe put a donation link for Jason Becker in the description. Be cool. Because he has, you know, trouble with medical bills, so I feel like that'd be a cool way to try to support Jason Becker. Post a cover and then have a donation link for him to, you know, help support him, because medical bills are expensive. I mean, it's a tragedy what happened to him. One of the best. What guitar pick do you use? Dunlop Altex 1.0? Oh, and it's a Dunlop Altex 1.0 sharp, by the way. I'll have to rewatch them. Play it and they will come. I get this question every time I live stream. I really need to check this dude out. Okay, are you a big fan of George Lynch? Are you a big George Lynch fan? Your shred videos are really, really Mr. Scary sounding. Haha. I'm not a big George Lynch fan, not because I dislike him, but due to the lack of knowledge of him or awareness of him. I have never listened to Dokken very much. It's funny that you say that. I get this question very common now. It's funny. I commonly get this question. It's hilarious. I need to check him out. He has a cool page on eBay that sells merchandise, and you can get art prints that his dad does, and it has a thumbprint for Jason's signature. I have a couple framed on my wall. Oh, really? That's awesome. Very cool. String gauge, I'm using 8 through 38 at the moment. Well, not at the moment, pretty much always. I always use 8s. Always use 8s. I think they're the best sounding strings and best playing strings. Joe Bonamassa. Joe Bonamassa is good. Don't know much of his stuff. I probably could sound like Joe Bonamassa through my influence of Eric Johnson. Ernie Ball Super Slinkies, DiMarzio, just curious. So Ernie Ball Super Slinkies, DiMarzio, just curious. No, they're the blue pack I'm using on this right at the moment. The blue pack. So those would be the Super Slinkies, right? They're not 9s. The 9s are the pink pack. I know this is the blue pack. That's what these are. How much do you like acoustic guitar compared to electric? I mean, I like electric better, but for the music I'm writing right now, I'm using a lot of electric nylon strings, so I just like electric, bro. But if I'm going to play acoustic, I would like a nylon string. You get that extra neoclassical. Or even kind of gypsy jazz sound is always cool with that. What are your thoughts on scalloped necks? Well, technically, it's not the neck that's scalloped, it's actually the fretboard, but I'm just correcting you in a funny way. But with that being said, I have a guitar that is a scalloped fretboard that Kiesel sent me, actually. It's my headless Delos. If you've ever seen that purple crackle finish guitar on my YouTube channel, that is the guitar that has a scalloped fretboard. And I don't love the scalloped fretboard. I like it for about an hour or two until it gets sort of annoying, and it's not because of it's a bad scallop job. It's just that's how all scallop frets are. After about 2 hours, my playing starts slowing down, and then I don't like it. But I love the fact that you could bend strings so much better than how you can bend a string on here. Like the note goes exactly where you want it to. Like. Like, it's much better for bending, but everything else is not that great. Well, I shouldn't say not that great. I mean, it's playable. It slows you down after an hour or two, and you start to really notice it. That's my only problem with it. But I love them, actually. I do like them a lot. They couldn't be a main guitar for me. It's more of like, if I'm in the studio and I want to really get some strings bending, ooh, I'll pull that thing out. But I can't pull it out right now because I just broke a string on it. They're old strings. They weren't new strings. That's what happened. Dynamis. One day you'll sit down and find you can do it as long as you keep trying, perhaps slowly. oh, he's talking about sweep picking. Yeah, you just gotta work on it. It's the truth. You just gotta sit down, work on it, and really practice efficiently. Because a lot of times when we practice, we don't use our time efficiently. We just play things we already are good at, and anytime there's any sort of struggle, we just sort of tend to go back to what we're used to. And that's the problem here when it comes to improving your guitar playing. You don't want to be playing the same things that you're already used to. You want to, play things you're not used to, because that's how you develop new muscle memory. So get in the practice room and just continue working on it, even if it's not comfortable, because that's where the results really start to show. Dynamis, try to implement a upstroke as you start. Yeah, if you do it on 3 strings, that's what I would do. If you're on a 3-string arpeggio, I would definitely start with an upstroke, like this kind of technique. That's always started with an upstroke for me. It's an up, pull off, up, down, 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 up, pull off, up, down, 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 up, repeat. That's how I do it, because if you want to get better at sweep picking, there's certain techniques that'll get you right in the right direction. So I recommend also starting with even 2-string arpeggios. You could even just go with this G minor shape, just do up, pull off, down, and just repeat that. That works, and then it kind of helps you sort of get more into the. It helps a little bit when you're getting into your 3 strings. Who knows that Paul Gilbert lick? It can feel weird at first, but your fingers will get used to it. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna feel weird at first. There's no doubt about it. I mean, when you're trying to improve that guitar, it's not easy. That's one thing I think people have lost, is the desire to do things that are difficult. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would be literally doing it. You would see everyone be a master at sweep picking. So get used to the level of discomfort in your brain of trying to figure out the fingerings on all these weird shapes that you may not be used to. It's just not supposed to be easy. It takes time, and you got to understand it takes time. But if you do optimize your practice routine, you can definitely get results faster than you may believe. But with that being said, let's work on some more arpeggio stuff. And you could also substitute your 3-string arpeggios with string skipping. This is a cool way of doing it. I've always had trouble with speeding up outside picking. Interesting. I've always thought outside picking was easier, but it just depends on how you slant your pick, I guess. Just tuned in. Heard your comment about it's not supposed to be easy. That's the truth, and you play well. Respect. Hey, that's respect to you, man, for understanding that, because a lot of people in this day and age want everything tomorrow, and the fact is, it's not going to happen unless you are dedicated and you put in the work. That's the truth here. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to get there. And people are used to having people tell them, it's easy, just do it this way, and it's just not going to work that way. It's not supposed to be easy. And once you get that through your head, That's when it becomes easy. Ironically, it becomes easy once you realize it's not supposed to be easy. Okay. Here's a interesting question. What always confuses me is when I watch Yngwie, his picking hand is moving so smooth it looks like he's not picking fast, but his notes are insanely fast. I don't understand. That's because when Yngwie is picking like that, you're seeing him do economy picking. Here's an example. See, it looks like I'm barely picking too. Excuse me. And with that being said, it's because of economy picking. There's ways of doing it where you can play things a lot easier rather than using the extra motion from alternate picking. And what I mean by easier, it's just once you have the technique down, it's easier. So I'll give you an example. If I were to pick that fast with alternate picking, this is what would happen. See, look at that extra motion there. That's alternate picking. That's down, up, no matter what. Here, let me continue. I see his comment here. What are the basics of economy picking? Basics of economy picking when we're talking 3 notes per string is always going to be down, up, down when you're descending 3 notes per string. So that means if we're in F major would be down, up, down, 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 down, up, down. Whereas if you were to alternate pick, no matter what, it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I mean, it ends up actually making certain things more difficult. Whereas economy picking makes things a lot easier at times. And then when you're descending economy picking, it's going to be up, down, up. If you're 3 notes per string. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And with that being said, if you were to do alternate picking, it would be down, up, no matter what. That is a basic way of explaining it. And there's more advanced ways of doing it if you have like a 2-1-2 note idea, as in 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. That's also economy picking if you do it like that, because I do up, down, 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 up. So hopefully that kind of gives you a basic understanding. Obviously, you're going to need years and years and years of practice to understand it to the level I do, but I think that is a basic introduction, in my opinion. What pedals are you using at the moment? I'm using a plugin from Polychrome DSP, and it's called the McRocklin Suite. There's probably an overdrive pedal, a reverb, and a delay pedal on at the moment. When you change strings, the pick keeps moving in the same direction. That's a very simplified way of saying it, and it's very accurate too. Listen to that. Always go in the same direction as your pick. That's a really good way of putting it. Hey, another thing I may add is there's a theory that was developed by Frank Gambale, and he said it's always easier to pick with alternate picking with even numbers of notes. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and it's a lot harder to alternate pick odd numbers of notes like 3, 7, 9, stuff like that. So with that being said, use odd numbers with economy picking. It always makes it a lot easier. And stick to, for the even groups of notes, alternate picking. But that theory also has some flaws as well, because I've used economy picking with 2 note per string stuff like this. Like you take a pentatonic scale and you can go like this, down, up, down. See how that works? It's a theory that has a little bit of flaws here and there, but it's overall quite correct. And if you wanted to ascend that, it would be the same thing. But I truthfully would probably alternate pick that in most cases. Just down, up, down, up. Hopefully that helps. Can you show some interesting bends? How about a Hendrix style technique? I do this a lot. Bro, what was that? The Hendrix thing, you bend from any string typically, but I do it a lot with, well, you can do it on the high E to the B, or you can do it from the B to the G. But I just do a pentatonic scale and then bend into the blue note of the pentatonic scale, which is like the blues scale. The fret, take it at any fret. So if you're, I mean, I'm in C minor. If we were in E minor, just take the framework of the minor pentatonic scale. And just, once you get to the second string, or the B string, bend into that on the 15th fret. So yeah, 15th fret, bend into the 15th fret from the B to the G. And it leads to a very nice sound. The 5-note, not the bend strat, the 5-note lick you were doing. What 5-note lick was I doing? I think you're on the G and B. G and B. I don't know. That was kind of too long ago for me now to remember. You might have to rewatch that if you want to check it out, because it left my memory. Do you do hybrid picking often? Often might be an understatement. I'm literally always doing it. For me, muting is the real. Straten's muting is legend. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, muting is it's a tough thing to get a hold of, I think, sometimes for people. Depending on what you're playing, of course, but I think honestly, what helped me, honestly, was palm muting. As weird as it may sound, the palm muting really just like made sure the notes don't go through what you're trying to play. And I do that when I'm like even alternate picking fast, like just doing. How many hours do you play per day on average? And for how long have you been playing? I've been playing guitar for 16 years this August. So August of 2008, I've been starting my guitar journey. And that being said, that's about 16 years. And how long do I play per day? I play a lot, man, because I'm either teaching, recording my album, or live streaming, or practicing, whatever. It's kind of like I always have a guitar in my hand because, yeah, I need to keep up with my playing and with the songwriting and all that stuff and the teaching and courses I may be recording or filming, tabs I might be writing out for everybody, all my students, all that stuff. So I'm always kind of involved with something musically? I don't have an exact answer because today I didn't play a lot. I've been only playing for 2 hours because I've been live streaming for an hour and 6 minutes. So that means I've been playing for as long as I've been live streaming. So, and with that being said, I'm answering questions too. So I don't, if you count me answering questions, I've only played for a little less than 2 hours today. How do you get your lead tone? I've been trying to get your tone for like ever, mainly the 80s shred videos. Do you have a like studio setup by chance? Because this tone could be yours for like $120 probably, or is it $150? That's how much the Polychrome DSP plugin costs. And yeah, just get that and you'll sound just like me. It's literally the preset on this. I just got this last year, so this is my new tone right now. But I just got this last year, and ironically, you said you want the 80s tone that I have. The preset on this is called 80s shred or 80s lead or 80s shred something. I don't even know the name of the preset. If you got the plugin, you could literally have exactly this tone. So, Polychrome DSP McLaughlin Suite. I swear I say that phrase like 100 times every live stream. I have that. I had no idea that's what you used. Oh, really? I mean, yeah, use that preset and get yourself like a good interface too. Well, you don't actually even need a great interface. Just turn up the gain on your interface a little bit and it'll probably sound similar. How many milliseconds do you set your delay at for your leads? I don't know the answer. Prior to getting Polychrome DSP McLaughlin Suite, I would have to manually do it to my ear. Now with the McLaughlin stuff, I just hit the button, delay on, and it provides the exact delay I need. Example. That's the exact delay I need for everything, so. Well, at least lead, not rhythm, but. So now I don't have to do that anymore. But I guess when I get my Axe effects or fractal audio, whatever, I'm probably going to have to learn that skill again because that's a hard skill to get. To get your delay right, that's one of the most annoying things about delay pedals is getting that right, and I'm not good at doing that. I know you said you were going to get an Axe effects, but if you were going to get a tube amp, what would it be? Well, I also own many tube amps as well, so I could just tell you what I have. I have a Fryette Memphis 30 tube amp. I have an orange Mastodon head. I have a Fender Blues Junior. I have a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. And what else? Is that it? I think that's it. And I've had Marshalls and stuff over the years. If I were to get a tube amp now, I'd probably just try to get something like Marshall sound, like a Plexi, something like that. Is what I'd go for. I use the Jack Oh my gosh, I use the Jack Butler preset. It's my favorite on the McLaughlin Suite. I've tried that before. That one has high gain, bro. That is literally super high gain. Listen to Time Odds. Oh my gosh. Listen to Time Odyssey per your request the other day. Good stuff. Vinnie Moore is probably in my top favorite, in my top five, along with Kotzen, Petrucci, Jason Becker, and Paul Gilbert. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, Vinnie Moore is underrated. I was just listening to Time Odyssey 2 nights ago again. I was like, you know what? Let's listen to this. This is actually really complex sort of songwriting, really. There's a lot of really, I wouldn't say complex songwriting. It's just, he just, puts everything together flawlessly, I think. And some of the sequences are very complex. I definitely would agree with that. Super neoclassical. I love it. Super. used to do this all the time. This is really sweet. Can clean that up. I'm so used to doing 3 notes per string right now with that. Woo! Fast stuff. I love the Vinnie Moore pivoting licks. What do you think about Nuno? Nuno's another guitar player I get asked a lot about, and I don't know enough about him. That's the truth. I don't know a lot about him. But I did listen to Nuno, or Extreme's newest song, because everyone was talking about it, and I was like, I want to hear what this is all about. And he did some like cool open string stuff. I didn't really know what it was, to be honest, but it was cool. Great skill, thank you. Got another one from Eugene. My top five obvious choices, perhaps. EVH, YJM, Nuno, Vi, Satriani, Brian May, Steve Howe. Oh, you're a Steve Howe guy. That's interesting. Very cool. Steve Howe is very good. I got turned on to him quite a while ago. And very cool jazz stuff. A lot of the acoustic stuff they were doing. Very cool stuff. I didn't know you knew who that was. Very cool. I agree. I like a lot of those guys too. Satriani, YGM, EVH, Vi. Jeff Beck is underrated. Oh, totally agree. Totally agree. Just listened to the Blow by Blow the other week. Very cool stuff. Excuse me. Have you studied some Greg Howe licks or ideas? What do you think about his style? I think he's an underrated player. Oh yeah, love me some Greg Howe. I actually really like a lot of his old neoclassical stuff too, when he was on the Shrapnel Records label. That was some really good music, man. And then he just sort of evolved from there with the fusion stuff. I love that stuff too. He's a very, very good player. Very passionate with what he does. It's great to see. And he's also a fellow Kiesel guitarist. So, shout out to Greg Howe, man. His new signature Kiesel is awesome. Have you guys seen that? He's got a Vega Trem. I was thinking about trying a Vega Trem soon. Anyone check one of those out before? Apparently it's like a Floyd Rose, but with the feel of a standard Fender style bridge, or like a Godot style. Very cool stuff. I know Greg Howe's signature model has one, that's why I mentioned that. That's Vinnie Moore right there. He does that a lot. Tony McAlpine, another monster. I was just listening to him too while I was in my Shrapnel Records mood. He's got some really good neoclassical pieces. What about Guthrie? He's great too. Very cool. Some more questions. Thank you, Eugene. Circle of fifths, neoclassical progression. Did you study music theory anywhere? I studied music theory at this school called Hard Knocks, and it taught me quite well. All jokes aside, no, I did not. How did you get into all these old players? Are there any newer players you like? How did I get into older players? I always came from a background of loving rock, so I liked Randy Rhoads and EVH a lot. I was really into Randy Rhoads and EVH when I first started. Still am to this day, by the way. Love them both. And I don't know, I just like the old school sound. Whereas as things started progressing with the metal and all that stuff, it just never was super interesting to me. I mean, it's good, it's talented and stuff. It's just I'm just not into super, heavy metal type of stuff. I like more rock-based stuff. That's the honest answer here. But sometimes, every once in a while, I'll listen to some new players and they're great. And I'll give you an example of some new players that are great. Al Joseph. He's another fellow Kiesel guitarist. Love watching him play. When he does the metal stuff, it's great. So it just depends, Al Joseph is a great example of a newer guitarist that's awesome. He's a friend of mine as well. Great school, LOL. You probably were expecting me to say like Musicians Institute. It's funny. Or Berkeley or something. There's one point I did want to go to either of those schools, though. I was considering it at one point, but at the time I was already too focused on getting good at guitar, and I didn't want anything to get in the way of that. So my decision was to not do that and just get better at guitar on my own, so I can, spend all of my time with guitar. If that makes sense. Although you'd be going to school to study guitar and music, but couldn't help but believe there wouldn't be some type of distraction. Pierre Daniel is a monster guitarist right now. I think I've heard of him. Didn't he do a collaboration with Rick Graham at some point? Yeah, I think that's correct. Rick Graham did a solo on their band's album. With Ollie Steele as well. I'm not too familiar with him, but I know the name. I've heard of him. Yeah, I think Rick Graham introduced me to them. Who's your favorite artist? I don't know, probably Ozzy Osbourne. If I were to say an artist, I would just go Ozzy, because there's a lot of good stuff from Ozzy's stuff. Love Ozzy Osbourne. That's the first one that came to mind, or name. Have you heard of David Chastain? His first 2 albums were on Shrapnel, and then he's done a lot of albums with his own label. Interesting. I have not heard of him, which is unusual because I do know a lot of, people from that era, or guitarists from that era, So yeah, I've not heard of him, but what does he do? Does he do like neoclassical stuff? Or is it 90s shrapnel? Let's hear the story here. I think there's some buzz happening here. I think I might need to get this set up again. I don't know what's happening. I think it might be the weather getting really dry out of nowhere. Dang it. Actually, no, it's not buzzing. I think it was just me. No, there's not buzz. It felt like it for a second. Not sure if that's buzzing or not. I'm not fully sure. This dang weather, bro. It's getting so dry outside. Out of nowhere. We just got snow just out of nowhere. When there's no snow like pretty much all year. Ever tried easing into jazz fusion with arpeggios like 7 flat 9, 7 sharp 5, augmented sevenths? Yeah, I've done some stuff like that before. I mean, I use some augmented stuff here and there, and certain voicings I have used as well, like the sharp 5. I think I have done some stuff like that. It's not my first go-to kind of sound, but I've definitely tried some stuff like that, or even minor 7 flat 5 stuff even. That's a really wicked augmented arpeggio. I remember learning that a long time ago, based off of Buckethead's sweeping tapping thing like this. Tough to play. Very tough. Not something I could just pull off on the spot. Minor 7 flat 5 is always cool too. The ones you mentioned, yeah, they're quite a lot more exotic than the ones I probably played. Or the augmented is quite cool. Glenn Proudfoot, anyone? I've heard of him. Isn't he like insanely fast? David T. Chastain, prolific writer, neoclassical rock / metal for sure. Listen to For Those Who Dare. I will check that out. I'm always interested in checking out new shrapnel artists. Or not new, but new to me, you know what I mean? Because if they're from the 80s, that'd be super cool to check out. Always hard to find guitar players that sound like that. Can you play some Celtic Frost? I don't even know what that is. Enlighten me. Marty Friedman is my favorite guitar player. His vision about creating music is awesome. Have you applied Eastern scales into your playing your own solos? Yeah, of course. I sub from your Buckethead content, you rip. That's funny. You're not the first one to say that. Sometimes we go live and we just hear people say, hey, bro, I saw your Buckethead video 10 years ago when I subscribed. And I'm like, really? And then more and more people say it. It's just funny because who would have thought I made a video that long ago that many people would enjoy? It's quite funny to me. Pretty cool arpeggio right there. Eugene, What do you think of that? Ooh, it's kind of tough to play up in that position. There you go, Eugene. That's a cool one. Can you play Yankee Rose by David Lee Roth, Eat 'em and Smile? I'm not aware of any of that stuff you just mentioned. I'll have to check it out. That's sick. How long have you been playing? Thank you. I've been playing since August of 2008, so that marks 16 years this August. I'm now an expert at saying that in a very fast way because I get asked this and I answer it every time. Request whole tone scale licks. That's cool. Let's try something like that after I answer this question. Chastain was one of the first artists on Shrapnel around 1983/84. He was also in a band called CJSS. There is a live video of the band on YouTube from 1987. Oh, thanks for that. I'm actually learning a lot from what you just said. I did not know he was one of the first Shrapnel artists. Very cool. We'll check them out. Now, whole tone licks. We really want to play some whole tone licks. It's always easier to do a whole tone on one string for me because this shape is quite difficult, but I'll do something for I'm not a big whole tone guy, but it can be cool. It actually starts hurting my head after a while listening to that scale. Yeah, I don't like playing that one for too long. Hurts my head. Get a headache with that kind of stuff. Steve Vai is on that record. Which record? The David Lee Roth? Okay. Oh, wait, you don't have a Floyd Rose. Well, I do have a Floyd Rose, just not on this guitar. I got one of my old Kramer Beretta with the most coolest paint job you'd ever see. One day I'll have to show you that guitar. What picks do you recommend for playing fast? I would recommend the Dunlop Alltech Sharp 1.0 for playing fast because I've been using this pick for playing fast for about 10 to 15 years. And this is the only pick I really like, and I recommend it because it sounds the best to me. What picks do you guys use? I doubt you will convince me otherwise, but I'll be open to it. What picks do you guys use? Because these picks are the best for my style. Jim won right now. Kirk Hammett green. Okay. Do you use any bebop scales in your playing? Not really. Not really. I think the most common scale I would use that would fall into more of a jazzier category would probably be melodic minor. And then I start using certain modes of melodic minor when they sound good over certain chords. I don't do a lot of that stuff, but I have the ability to do a little bit of it. If needed, of course. What about you? You guys use these cool bebop scales ever? We got any jazz players in the house tonight? It's a cool way of playing a minor pedal point lick. you gotta use hybrid picking for that to get that sort of Bach-like sound. Have you tried the Dunlop Jazz 3? No, dude. I'm just kidding. I've tried that a long time ago. Not a fan. I used to use it a lot. I like the... If I were to use that, I'd have to go XL, bro. I'll be honest. Who's your favorite guitar player at the moment that you think is a bad player? Guitar player at the moment. Think about it. Who comes to mind immediately? I just can't help but think Randy Rhoads. I don't know why. I really don't know why I have to say Randy Rhoads. Because every time I listen to him, I can't help but think his way of playing solos and composing solos is ahead of his time. I really do think those kind of solos that he wrote were so ahead of his time. They may not be the most flashy, but with that being said, they're like lyrical and they're like well composed. It's just, I have to give it to Randy Rhoads. That's just who comes to mind. And that's the most natural response I can give you. How should be a 2 years progress for you? Depends on how much time you have and what your goals are. My 2 years of progress, I mean, I already had Eruption learned within 6 months of playing. Most people probably within 2 years of playing aren't really learning that or playing that yet. So it's just going to be different for everyone else. Results may vary. But with that being said, I think you should have the basics down. You should be able to play basic rhythms, keep time, and that's the point where you should probably be getting into probably learning a little bit more about theory, technique, all that stuff. So it really depends. It really depends. And with that being said, if there's anyone who is new here who hasn't been aware, I was going to say that there's a lesson pack linked in the description. If you ever want to support the channel, you can check out the lesson pack linked in the into the description of this video. And there's a lot of tabs and licks and lessons and stuff there. It's only $20 if you want to check it out, support the channel. Would appreciate it. If not, all good. And if you wanted to support the channel, you can also hit like on this live stream. That would greatly help the channel with the algorithm and all that stuff. Thank you. No big deal if not, though, if you don't want to do all that. No worries. Okay. Do you consciously think about leading tones when improvising, or do you just play it by ear? That's a great question. That's a great question. I do have my preferences with certain notes that I like to target. I do have certain preferences, but I do a lot of things by ear as well. And also, it depends on what you're playing over, because if it's like a minor-based chord progression, it never sounds good targeting major notes. So it really depends on what you're playing. And if you're playing over a major chord progression, then obviously you're going to want to go for more of a sort of, you know, more melodically note choices, like the major scale sounds. That is also applying to pentatonic stuff as well. So it depends on what you're playing over. Yeah, I do think of that actually quite a bit, because I don't like the sound of not knowing what you're doing when you're improvising. It just, I don't like it. I like to know where the chords are and all that stuff, and how I can optimize the best, you know, sounding solos through that. What's your favorite metal band? I don't know. Probably, if we're talking like legitimately metal, like not including bands like Ozzy, that's metal to me. But like, I'd probably say like Metallica. To be honest, I like Metallica. That's the first band that comes to mind. They influenced me quite a bit. And thank you to everyone who liked the video. Much appreciated. Theory or technique or theory first? Well, you may as well learn the theory with your technique, because that just means you work on scales without knowing the names of them, which is exactly what I did. Exactly what I did, bro. I learned a bunch of scales, could play fast and shred really clean. People probably thought I knew theory at the time, but that couldn't be further from the truth. So I would say just I applied the names to the scales I knew quite later on. It took me, it was just experience really is what helped. Watching videos and hearing other people say, this is in E minor, and just I caught on fast, and I read books as well that helped, and I had a lot of theory and scale books, and like there's charts I had. So it was just like bits and pieces over time, and it just, before I knew it, I seemed to know what I was doing. It's like playing ball and watching film. They go hand in hand. That's an interesting way of putting it. Are there any good ways to play a half diminished chord on guitar? Because for the life of me, I cannot figure out a voicing I like. Like half diminished as in like flat fives? If that's what you're referring to, then just take an F major 7 chord and just play a half step up on the A string and just do that. View it like that, F major 7, and take up the, then just play F sharp instead of F. Yeah, that's a decent voicing right there. I mean, that's the one I would use. Alright everyone, to get heading out now, so appreciate all you who joined the live stream today. It was a fun one. Looks like we've been going for a little over 2 hours now, so appreciate everyone's support, seriously. Lots of great questions tonight. Fun jamming, got some good practice in, and now I'm probably about to, get to recording some music, so really enjoyed though this live stream tonight. So I will be back with some more live streams soon. Maybe tomorrow I might do another live stream. Who would want to see that? But if not, next week for sure. Thanks, Straten. Great stuff. Thank you, man. Thank you. We appreciate it. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Hopefully you guys found some value in this stream, and that's always the goal here. Good good night, man. Hey, you have a good night as well. Appreciate everyone who joined. Thank you. Well, thank you to you. Thank you to you. And yeah, it's always good live streaming. We have a great community of people here, and it's always great to see you guys. As much live as possible. As much live as possible. I mean, I think I could make that happen if I was just live stream my practice sessions. I would kind of like what I was doing tonight. Although I don't know how much real practice I got in, to be honest. But with that being said, shout out to you guys. Great community here. Very nice to always see you on the lives. And with that being said, shout out to you guys. I'll be back with some more live streams soon. And we'll update you more with the music I'm writing and give you some updates with that. And more videos soon as well. So be on the lookout for all of that, everyone. And with that being said, if anyone wants to support the channel, check out my lesson pack. It's linked in the description of this video. And you don't have to check it out if you don't want, but if you want to support the channel, feel free to check it out. And with that being said, I'm going to be heading out now. Thanks for your support as always. Peace out. Peace out, everyone.